dare I say the M word, the Metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
I say it because that was obviously a fluke, too early, too soon,
Oh, yeah.
right? Not to say that it's completely out the
I
window,
think there's going to
but
be a revival for it.
well, and it's not dead. It's just it was blown up too soon, right? Just like crypto was in
Yeah.
general. You know,
Went
crypto.
through a quick mainstream cycle.
Yeah, everybody's like, "Oh my god, all these crypto coins are going to the moon." Blah
Buying
blah.
real estate on the
Dogecoin. It's
metaverse.
my god, dude. That was a thing. There was a no jokes.
Millions of dollars.
There was a point where I was on Decentraland and I was like, "Bro, what is going on with Decentraland?"
Mhm.
Because everybody's
I remember me
trying.
and you talked about it.
Yeah, Samsung, Adidas, like all these big name brands.
They're buying land.
Like they were literally buying real estate on Decentraland. And I was like, I'm missing something, right? Like, what am I not seeing? So I go in there and I just looked at plots. Bruh, these plots of land, they weren't even that big. They were like squares. We're going for like tens of thousands of
Yeah.
dollars.
Yeah, I remember looking
Ridiculous.
at it too.
I was like, this has to be a joke. This can't be
Virtual
real.
land.
Virtual land. Now, I will say this. I'm not saying that virtual land has no value. I'm saying it had that much value too soon.
Mhm.
And there is such a thing as saying that because where we are today in our economy, in our macroeconomic environment, there's no money for virtual land.
Yeah.
Who can afford virtual land?
Can't afford real land.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. If anybody's buying virtual land, it's the people that are already rich.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's the same people that are buying and flipping houses.
Mhm.
It's not the average person that can barely afford like a $300,000 home and they get a freaking 6-7% APR in today's world,
Yeah.
right? They can't afford. They don't look at that like, oh, babe, should we buy this house or should we buy the virtual land in Decentraland? I don't know. What do you think?
Let's go for the skyscraper in Decentraland.
Right? I don't know, babe. We might be at 5x value.
Well, and think about it. That can be the future of social media as well, right? You could be sitting in your fucking underwear, laying in bed. You put on these goggles, and you load into Decentraland, right? And
Surrogates.
you load into your little virtual house. You go to virtual work. You do virtual work in virtual Decentraland, and you live a virtual life, but you're making money in real life doing this virtual work in Decentraland. You want your form of entertainment. You want your form of social
We're
media.
not sponsoring Decentraland, by the way. Just
What was
throwing
the
that
other?
out there.
What was the other one that was like Decentraland? There was another one.
Yeah, there was a few. Cardano made their own.
Yeah.
Wasn't
there a Solana one?
Pavia or Pave, something like that.
Yeah.
Solana. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean the big
Yeah.
networks, the big blockchains.
There's one based off of Ethereum.
For virtual land, I don't think so.
Okay, maybe I'm.
Well, Ethereum was known more for NFTs.
Mhm.
That was the number one NFT.
Yeah.
Like blockchain,
Yeah.
right? You could build blockchains. I mean, you could build NFTs essentially anywhere,
Mhm.
like even on Bitcoin. A lot of people don't know this, but it just became a thing where it was like, okay, are NFTs like what are NFTs, right? At that
Mhm.
point, and I think if you really researched what NFTs were, at the end of the day, it's a digital identity for any object, anything, right? That can be essentially materialized. The number one thing that people talked about was how NFTs would be used mainly by the government, would be mainly used for IDs,
Mhm.
which they hit a home run with that. Because if you think about it, that is a perfect spot or perfect place for NFT to exist.
Mhm.
I don't have to carry my driver's license anywhere. I just show you my NFT, you verify it
Mhm.
in the blockchain, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, that's yours.
Mhm.
Boom. Right? I don't have to carry my ID. I can never lose it, right? And
It's built right into your phone.
Boom, right? Are we there yet? No. So all this whole nonsense.
Do you think governments will ever adopt that though?
Yeah, 1000%.
Think so?
Governments, the Fed, governments, etc. From what I've learned and what I've seen, people are fools.
Mhm.
People think that they're one step ahead of the government. They think that they'll do something different that will degovernize something at a macro scale.
Mhm.
The government ultimately will decide what's good for you and what you get to have. When they decide that it's okay and regulated and at their price, right?
Mhm.
Or the way they wish to distribute it, right?
Mhm.
It's just like everything else.
Whether you're in a whether you're in a free society like ours or whether you're in North Korea under a dictatorship, it's the government's always going to decide for you one way or another.
I argue if we're in a free society, but yeah, I get it. We're not in a
A free
dictatorship.
society.
Yeah.
To hear the full episode, you can find us on every major podcast streaming service. Also, for more content like this, make sure you like and subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You can find our links in the bio and in the description below. Stay tuned, and we can't wait to see you back at the shack.